All right, good morning, everybody. I think it is September 30th, last day of September. And I think this is episode 12 of the Mad County Build series. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button when you're watching this. Share with your friends. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Check my wife's blog out at www.marshallremodel.com. She's got a lot of cool stuff on there. A lot of the past projects we've done are on there, and she does a really nice job on that. So check that out for some more information. But this episode, I'm calling Preparing for Concrete. So I got the structure all framed up. I got house wrap on, I got the roofs on, but I got to get this ready for concrete so I can get the concrete in before winter. So part of that is getting the rock up to grade. Below your concrete, you want, in my opinion, you want a good 4 inches of rock below your slab. That'll allow moisture, space to escape if you get any moisture under your slab. So I've done that. End of last week, I came in, got a bunch of rock. I brought this all up to grade where I wanted my rock to be. That's considering my slab's gonna be about 5 inches, and then I'm gonna have 2 inches insulation under that. So I brought my rock up all to grade. I used string lines for that to get it pretty level, and then I compacted it a couple times. And now working with electricians and putting in plumbing. So this is a slab. So on my main floor, all my plumbing has to be underneath the concrete. So this is very important. So I like to compact all my rock first, and then it makes it a little harder digging your trenches, but then it's not as hard getting that compacted where you trench in, and I don't feel like I'm gonna mess up the plumbing once it's in there. So how I do that is with string lines. And you saw when I laid out the building, and as I was setting all these footings and posts, I use string lines. If you have like a GPS system, that's awesome. I don't. So I use string lines. They come in very handy. So that's what I've done inside. As you can see, I got string lines going everywhere. And why I do that is I find my finished walls to rooms where I'm going to have plumbing, so I know where to pop up my drain pipes, my water pipes, and electrical conduit into walls where I want it. So I've done that. I've got it all marked out with paint. I got all my fittings laid out, so I know where they're at. And now I'll just start at one end, digging it in, keeping 1/4 inch a foot slope as I go towards my septic system. It's very important to keep 1/4 inch of slope. That allows your sewage and everything to drain properly into your septic tank. A couple things that I've learned over the years with laying out plumbing is it makes it so much easier if you can keep your lines perpendicular to your house. And what I mean by that is at 90-degree angles where you can use long turn elbows and 45s, where you don't have to use a bunch of weird like 22.5s and different configurations to get things to line up. So what I do is I brought my line in. You can see that line, it goes all the way straight, and my septic tank will be out that side. And it's at a 90-degree angle. It's square to the house, so it runs straight down. So as I come down through the house, we'll kind of walk it out here. So my septic tank's gonna be outside here. Code is 10 feet outside. I'll probably put it 15. But as I come in, if I'm square to this wall and to this wall, as I come in and I have a drain over here, all I have to do is come in with a Y and a 45, and I have a straight shot versus having to do any weird configurations. Same thing here, it breaks off. Another one breaks off. And then you go into the house, and it just continues. So my main line is straight, and then all I have to do is use Ys and 45s, or like a Y. They make Ys with a long turn elbow, and it's very important. Also, I learned this the hard way when I first started doing plumbing, is with sewage you have to use long turn elbows which is equivalent to a Y and a 45. And when I'm talking about a Y, this piece here is a Y. So you got a Y and a 45, and that'll make a 90-degree turn. You can't use just a regular 90-degree elbow, short turn elbow. Those are for venting, that won't pass inspection. You can use those for vents, but you can't use them for your septic system. And I'll show you the difference. So here's a long turn, which is for septic, and here's a 90-degree vent elbow. So you can see there's quite a bit of difference, and their theory behind this is this could get plugged up a lot easier than this. So keep that in mind when you're doing plumbing. Anytime sewage is involved, you got to use long turn elbows, Ys and 45s. That's kind of how I remember it, Y and 45 or long turn elbow. But we're going to get going. I like to put a clean out. I'm going to run the line just all the way out and poke it out the north side of the house, and I'm going to have a clean out there, so if I ever need to, I can just run it all the way through the main line. And I'm also going to have one out the south side before you get to the septic tank to clean that out as well. So we're going to get going here. Alright, well, I haven't got as much as I wanted to done today so far, but I got a few hours left. Probably stay here pretty late tonight, but just been getting phone calls from the concrete guys, and just some other stuff that I've had to take care of, electrician stuff. But I'm doing pretty good. Got the main line pretty much trenched all the way through the house. Right here comes off to the toilet and the master, and then there's a vent that goes up the wall. It ties in. This one goes off to the island, so the vent will actually be under the island because there's no wall to take one up. And then I'm getting ready to trench in this. That goes over to the master bathroom, so we'll get a drain and a vent there for my vanity, drain and a vent over there for Emily's, and then that'll angle off to the shower. And then that over there, there's going to be a 4-inch that goes up here, up there, and in between there, and then the washer and dryer in our bedroom will tie in to that. Those all go upstairs and will drain the upstairs and be the main vents. So over here, this goes over. That's for the drain vent for the pantry sink. That goes over, and that's for the bathroom right next to the mudroom. Tub shower, toilet, and sink. So we're gonna keep plugging away here. All right, well, I got all the plumbing in the house part done. That's gonna be underneath the concrete. Took me about a day and a half. I didn't work on it the whole time, but pretty steadily. I hand dug it all with just a little trenching shovel, and then I had some picks to break the rock loose. It went pretty good, but once you get it all done, you want to go back, make sure you have the slope that you intended to have, which is a 1/4 inch per foot. I've done that. I have that throughout my system, and it'll continue to fall all the way out the other side of the garage. I got a couple more things to hook up in the garage, and then it's a straight shot out to the septic tank. The next thing you want to check is you want to go down your line, and you want to make sure all your joints aim towards your septic tank. I know that seems silly, but mistakes happen, and this is the time to catch them. So I go to each line, check to make sure all my Ys are facing the right way, make sure that I have the slope that I need, make sure I got vents in, counted for everything, which I do. And then once you get all that done, make sure everything's headed the right way. Then you're good to cover it up. So I'm going to go ahead and push all this rock back in over this line. That'll hold it in place real good. I mean, it's not going anywhere. And then I got to drill some holes in here because I'm going to have some wood posts supporting the upper level of the house. And I want to put some concrete footings just below the slab. I'll separate it with some gravel so they can still move independently. I'm putting a 4,000 PSI slab in here, which probably would be plenty, but this is the time to do it. And I know if I don't, then I'll constantly be worrying about it, whether it's going to crack there eventually. I'm going to have 5 posts. The rest will be attached to these posts on the outside, which have footings under them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, cover this up. I'll be able to get my skid steer in here, drill those holes, and then I'll pick up some concrete tonight and get those poured. I'm just going to mix those up in my mixer, and I'll get those poured. Another thing I like to do is I go back over and I'll cover all these just with some duct tape, just to be sure, you know, when the kids come out here, they don't, you know, fill them up with rocks and all that, because I know my son, and he'll think that's fun, and then he'll get my other 2 kids to do it. So. And I'm working on running water lines, PEX water lines for the main floor, and I'm running them under the concrete. So I'm digging trenches, and then I'm insulating. I'm insulating the hot and the cold. I think, you know, since I have access, I might as well insulate the cold too. I don't think it ever freeze underneath the slab. Everything I've read and everybody I've talked to say they're fine under the slab. The heat from the house and the warmth from the slab will keep it warm. My PEX tubing will be underneath the slab. I'm not running it in the slab, so it'll be underneath, along with the electrical conduit. But you can see here I got some done. So I got them insulated. Those are ones that are done. They're insulated, and then I use 1-inch long turn electrical conduit elbows, and that insulation fits perfectly in the bigger coupling part of those, and then that takes them up towards my manifold. So I run over to each spot, and then I use 2-inch PVC, a 90 or a long turn elbow, and 2-inch PVC to pop them up through the concrete, so they'll never have contact with the concrete. And then I'll show you the other side here. So I'll have all the cold on the right side, all the hot on the left side, and they'll all pop up, and then my PEX manifold will be right here, and then I can just turn them in. And it's very important that you label these. I mean, it's not like you couldn't figure it out, but I always label them, so later on it's a lot easier to figure out where they're all going. In the system that I'm running, I'm going to have a PEX manifold system, and it's going to be a home run system. And what I mean by that is I'm not running a 3/4 inch line and then teeing off of it. So I'm not running like 3/4 to a bathroom and then teeing off for the toilet, teeing off for the sink, teeing off for the shower. Each faucet is going to have its own line coming back to the manifold. And then there will be an individual shutoff here at the manifold, so I could turn just the cold side of one of the master sinks off, or the hot side to the kitchen sink. I love that because there's no joints in the wall. There will be, like where the washer and dry is, where I hook up to that, and there might be one on the pot filler, and then one on like the refrigerator hookup. But other than that, there's really no joints in the wall to worry about. So that's why I like doing this, and it seems to hold pressure good. So if you're flushing the toilet and using the shower at the same time in the bathroom, you're not losing water pressure or getting burned or anything like that. So My goal today is to get this all done. I think I'm going to run out of insulation, but I should be able to get all the pipes at least ran and put in place, and then I can get some more insulation tonight and finish that up quick tomorrow. So there we go. Got all my water lines for the downstairs ran under the ground. They all come up to the other side where my PEX manifold is going to be. And I'll show you that. So my manifold will be right there, and then they all come out through here, and these are all 1-inch PVC conduits that I ran them up in, and then I built a little box, and the concrete will come up flush to that box. I got this piece I'm going to screw on here, and then I'll just fill that with something, some rags or something, just to make sure concrete doesn't get in there. I'll bring gravel up to the back up to grade where it needs to be, and then the concrete will just come up to the top of this 2x6. All right, so there you have it. Those will be protected. Concrete will come up to right here, and I'll shove some stuff in there so concrete doesn't get down in there. But that should work out pretty well. And then for the upstairs, I'm going to, I think that's upside down. Nope. For the upstairs, I'm going to have a separate manifold. It'd just be easier, and my hot water will get there quicker and stuff like that. So I'm going to get all this buried back in, and then I'm going to start on the electrical conduit. And basically it's going to be the same thing, only I'm going to pop it up over here where my electrical panel is going to go. So I'm going to get busy.